This video was suggested to me yesterday, but I chose not to watch it. I don't want his opinions influencing me. The title is a growing sentiment shared by many in the Rick community. I've seen it on the forums, Reddit, Facebook group, memes, comment section, Instagram. There's a growing sentiment that old Rick was better and that new Rick doesn't even feel like Rick. On top of trying to remember their talking points, I will try to put myself in their shoes and see why they might prefer the old Rick. I will then use new Rick to show that it is still Rick. By not watching his video though, I keep a plausible deniability. The point is, the title reminded me to explore this topic further. I am a big fan of new Rick and old Rick, so I want to challenge myself also. Doing pickups all the time can be a bit boring. By the way, I'll mainly focus on the men's size. I'll touch briefly on the women. I'm just more familiar with the men's collection. I will somewhat overgeneralize a few things. I'm just trying to avoid excessive length of this video. Fairly opinion-based, which means there's room for a dialogue. So let's keep it friendly and open. We all love clothes. We all love Rick. Let's have some fun. Clothes are not that serious. Or, as the great Lee Alexander once said,
you know, at the end of the day, the fundamental thing is fashion is not to be taken too seriously, and that's what I try to get across. It's not going to cure you of cancer or AIDS, it's just clothes. So don't sit there and tell me the aesthetics of a jumper because it's just there to be worn. So that's why I take the piss out of it, because they're just clothes at the end of the day, no matter what they look like. Everything's been done before, it's just the way you do it.
in this video, I'll share why I love new Rick and hope to expand your perspective if you are on the boat of old Rick is better, new Rick is boring, I refuse to buy new Rick. First, let's define the cutoff. For me, new Rick started with Larry Fall Winter 19, the Rockstar era, Kiss Boot debut, more raunchy, more bombastic, more Tyrone influence. Anything before it's old Rick. If you disagree, meet me in Munich and let's fight. The first big criticism of new Rick, using more vibrant colors. Those people believe that old Rick was more black, muted palette, gray, white, green, earthy, brown, those colors, you know. While true to an extent, majority of the looks were with those color palette we just stated. However, that doesn't mean that there weren't colorful looks or vibrant looks in those collections. Look at Gleam, this is literally gold, that's not muted. Look at Cyclops, quite a few colorful looks. Mastodon as well. Walrus had a lot of colorful looks. Glitter had a few vibrant looks. Rick has always experimented with color. It wasn't always black, white, gray, green, earthy, muted color palette. There's some silver, there's some pink, there's some orange, there's some purple, you know. Karsten, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Karsten Thumbnail suggested that old Rick was more muted and new Rick is too colorful, right? Let's analyze new Rick. The crew of old Rick is better, say it's too vibrant, too colorful. It doesn't have the old color palette, so let's look closer. Larry, tons of black, white, gray, earthy, muted tone. Let's count actually, 46 total looks. 14 of those looks have vibrant color. That means 70% of the looks align with the old Rick color palette. Technical, 8 out of 45 look. I count it as colorful, but let's give the old Rick people as 10. Yes, a few silver, red, yellow. That's 22%, meaning 112% is still old Rick color palette. Performer, 18 out of 44. By the way, I'm being extra nice to the old Rick people here. Realistically, it was more like 14. Okay, so 18 out of 44. 41% color. Black and muted earthy color are still 59%, so that's still a majority. That's a win for my argument. Flagathon, 7 out of 30. That's 23% colorful looks. Only a few orange and red, a bit of metallic accent, which I will count as vibrant. 70% still old Rick color palette. Gethsemane, 7 out of 43. Again, I'm being super progressive with the count of vibrant colors here. That's 16% vibrant. 84% are still black, white, gray, cream, muted, earthy tone, blah, blah, blah. Some colorful looks, yes, but primarily still old Rick color. Focacine, 4 out of 43. I'm not counting the orange sunglasses alone. I gave you guys so much already. That's 9.3%. I'll give you guys 10%. A lot of white and majority of the rest is still black, cream, gray, earthy tone, muted palettes. You get less than 5 orange. Strobe, 5 out of 44. That's 11%. You get very little orange, pink, turquoise-ish with this look. Everything else is still old Rick coated. Etfu, 11 out of 43. 11 out of 46, 20% vibrant, that's 70%, that's 77% old Rick color. You get some pink or fuchsia, yellow, neon green pants here, that's about it. Luxor, 9 out of 50, 18%, dude, come on. And I'm counting the green, purple, accent of green or gray or purple. I'm being super generous with those counts. Lido, 0 out of 48, 100%, bro. Everything's all black. Porterville, 9 out of 47, that's 19%. A few dramatic hues, it's not that scary, old Rick people. Welcome, come join us in the new Rick. It is still Rick. Now, I will do the same exercise with the old Rick that are available on the rick.eu. Babel, all old Rick coded, I'll give you that. Let's keep going though. Sisyphus, still old Rick color palette, 100%. Dirt, I won't count the yellow, I could have. You guys are still batting 100. Glitter, roughly 7 out of 40. That's 17%. That's my argument. Walrus, 8 out of 42, 19%. Mastodon, 3 out of 42, 7%. Cyclops, 5 out of 38, 13%. Sphinx, all muted black, white. Okay, 100% again. Fawn, I could count some of these, but I won't. So 100% for all Rick again. Moody, 100%. Vicious, 100%. Flint, 100%. Island, 100%. Mountain, 100%. Nashka, 100%. Limo, 100%. Anthem, 100%. Gleams, 2 gold out of 46. 4%, baby. That's a victory for my argument. Release, 100%. Cross, 100%. Dustulator, 7 out of 33. That's 21%, baby. The point I'm trying to make is, yes, there are a few more vibrant colors, but the old Rick crowd is being a bit too dramatic when they say all of the new collections are all too colorful. Let me flip Carson thumbnail. See, I can do the same thing. Oh my god, old Rick was too colorful. New Rick is better. New Rick is more muted in color. Rick is expanding his color palette, but he hasn't forgotten his roots. The muted palette is still alive. Next argument, we missed the sharp tailoring, we missed the architectural influence design clothes, we missed the grungy clothes, we missed the asymmetrical designs, we missed dramatic silhouette, we missed deconstructed garment, we missed the rebellious attitude of the old Rick. Those design ethos are still here, more alive than ever. I'll prove it right now. Rick's tailoring is still here. Statement shoulders, clean cut lines. Most of Rick clothes, they still focus heavily on the internal structural material and underlayers like padding and whatnot inside the garment to give the shape that it has. Tailoring and alteration are somewhat synonymous. When people think about sharp tailoring or the word tailoring in general, they might talk about correctly placed shoulder seams. The length of the sleeve is perfect. Some are shorter on purpose for the unorthodox look. Hint, hint, rebellious. Hint, hint, deconstructed. The width of the torso, the armholes, everything are still made correct or made with a purpose. Rick isn't churning out Michael Kors level craftsmanship. Look at these looks from New Rick. The garments are still sharp. The seam edges lined up perfectly. There's a sleek and structural look to the garment. Still very architectural. Doesn't hang too loose. Hug the shoulder perfectly. The sleeve are at the correct length. While there are more fluid looks, tailoring remains central in Owens Corp. Crafting fluidity from structural or rigid materials is a refined skill, no less intricate than sharp tailoring. Fluid garments demand expertise, balancing many different aspects to get us to the fluidity that we see. Now, if I've never made clothes, this is all from my research and general knowledge of paying attention to the clothes I have. If I got anything wrong or the whole thing wrong, please correct me. I'm willing to learn and will happily redact or reword this segment. I miss the old drapey looks of Rick. New Rick is too one-dimensional, singular, not enough movement on the garment, not enough going on. Okay, so this is the definition of a draped garment or look. The glitter collection had a lot of garment that you can classify as drape or drapey. That's old Rick. Let's look at Porterville. Quite a few drapey garments on the runway. Look at Lido. Drapey looking leather. That's craftsmanship, baby. Look at Strobe. Drapes are still here, gentlewoman. We missed the architectural garment that was found in old Rick. We no longer have this in new Rick. Ooh. I think many, including myself, struggle to clearly define architectural clothing. A lot of people blurt out that word, but if you ask them to define it, they would have a hard time doing so. I took the time to try to define it myself. Again, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I think of garment that emphasize the structure, form, and balance, geometrical shape, sharp edges, clean line, precision with the cuts, pieces with structural integrity rather than a simple t-shirt that hang onto the body loosely. That's what I think when I think of the word architectural. The Sphinx collection had quite a few geometrical shape. Here's some other example of architectural garment on old Rick runways. Now, new Rick. Let's look at Porterville, Lido, Luxor, Edfu. Architectural garments are still here, my friends. We missed the crazy runway, the innovative runway. When people think of crazy runway, they probably think of women, Vicious, Spring Summer 14, Sphinx, Fall Winter 15 with the exposed penis, Women Cyclops, Spring Summer 16 with woman wearing woman. Rick, he still does a lot of crazy runway. May I refer you to Hollywood Spring Summer 25, Men, Strobe Fall Winter 22, Tech Couture, where he flew mud from LA to Paris for the show, the crazy artwork by Thomas Housego, Porterville, where we get to see more of his house. I think that's a pretty great runway. Not as boring as some other designers. A lot of old Rick was also just simple runway. That was when he had less money. It wasn't always crazy, here and there, yes. But same thing can be said about the new Rick. Oh, I forgot. Focacine on the beach, dude. The amount of planning you need to do an outdoor shoot. If you ever shot a video outside, you know how hard it is. Now imagine that times 1,000, because all of the model, equipment, and everything else that needed to go right for everyone that day. We missed the deconstructed garment. Deconstructed means breaking down and reimagining traditional garment structure. This can result in a garment that looks unfinished, fragmented, or raw. Exposed seam, asymmetrical form, a blazer that looks shrunken, oversized, a sweater doesn't look like a sweater anymore. A good old Rick collection to showcase the deconstruction is dirt. If that is not old enough for you, we can go back to fall/winter 05. You see a few garments with unfinished hems, exposed seam, more raw, more unorthodox. For the new Ricks, let's look at Focacine. Rick literally made a Tatlin coat and took the sleeve off and exposed the construction of the Tatlin garment. We can look at the Strobe collection and how this feels like an unfinished product or a finished product, and then Rick decided to continue to poke at it until it looks the way it looks. You get the shrunken coat looks in Lido, looks the long flimsy wool sleeve instead of standard sleeve on this blazer or coat. Rick is still deconstructing. Lastly, banana sweater, bro. It doesn't even look like a sweater, but you can't say it's not a sweater. Deconstruction. We missed the dramatic silhouette, bro. The dramatic silhouette is more prevalent than ever. We missed the rebellious attitude. Rick Owens is currently putting people in all shapes, size, and ages on his runway. I think that's pretty rebellious. In 2024, he made garments with recycled bicycle tire. This is not a luxurious material, yet it is on the fashion runway of a luxury fashion house, Rick Owens. Rick Owens straight 2K inflated rubber boots, rejecting the traditional confine of fashion aesthetic. Look at all the crazy down jacket from Porterville. Rebellious. I don't think we need to talk about the grungy looks or asymmetrical design of the old Rick. All of them are still prevalent. Take my word for it. I provided example to all of my earlier statement. I am lazy now. I believe I built enough goodwill with you guys for you to simply take my words for it. So why do these people love old Rick and hate new Rick, or simply feel that old Rick is superior to new Rick? Simple answer, nostalgia. They got into Rick at an earlier time, let's say 2010, right? That's the aesthetic they knew and loved. Chances are they couldn't afford it then. They were admiring it from afar. The new Rick are easily available to purchase. If you want something from Crust or Dustulator, you gotta search, and chances are you can't find them. This makes the yearning more intense, and you just wanted more of the old Rick. We don't want what is available, we want the struggle. Let's look at the Rick Owens dunk and the Rick Owens Geo basket. Same shape, same material, but because of this part right here, people want the dunk more. And because of the nostalgia, people want the dunk more. You could easily reverse the story with the two sneakers. Oh my God, Nike sued Rick for Geo baskets, so he decided to make dunks instead to not get sued. Geo basket become more rare. Dunks are coming out every year with different material and color. Nostalgia. New Rick, old Rick, they are still the same Rick. The ethos are still there. Rick has evolved. He has new interests. New current events inform his collections. As he ages, his opinion changes. Rick Owens, the brand, is an extension of Rick Owens, the person. He's not attending as much orgy as he used to. He's not clubbing as hard as younger Rick. He prefers more alone time. There are more reasons as to why someone prefers old Rick to new Rick, but nostalgia is the biggest of them all. I saw this tweet and I thought it's the perfect image to leave you all with.